Okay, everybody, we're going to get started now. My name is Joyce Raimondo. I'm the education coordinator at the Pollock-Krasner House and Study Center. We're a national landmark in East Hampton, located 100 miles east of New York City, all the way on the end of Long Island. And this program is being recorded. We have a wonderful special guest today, Dr. Dekel, who will tell us about his creativity and his interest in AI, artificial intelligence. And the name of his talk today is called Artistic Integrity in the Age of AI. So I can't wait to hear what Dr. Gill, as I call him, has to say. So I was thinking about, before we get to Dr. Gill, I was thinking about art and technology, and even how the paintbrush was a form of technology. It was invented, I think, by the Chinese in 300 BC, and then it evolved. Then I was thinking about Jackson Pollock and how he broke away from the paintbrush, and he was using industrial materials, right? And how personal the technology was, right? It was just him in the studio with the stick dripping paint. But then there were many, many modern and contemporary artists, of course, who always were expanding on ways to use technology and even removing the artist's personal contact with the artwork. So case in point would be Andy Warhol. He's doing screen printing, and now he has other people doing the work for him. He's not actually participating in the actual hands-on act of making a painting. And of course, today technology is available to artists to make sculptures and installations and projections and videos and all sorts of art. All of these boundaries are being blurred. We have a lot of fear today. A lot of people are afraid of AI. This is what I hear, and I have my own anxieties. And I think it's natural to have anxieties when there's a major change. So I cannot wait to hear what Dr. Gill says about AI and his thoughts, and about how do we preserve integrity when the artist mark might not be in the making of the art. Okay, so a little bit about Dr. Gill, who has an extensive bio. Dr. Gill says at the early age of 8, Gill declared that he would become a poet in the future, not realizing that what he was writing back then was already poetry. Years later, he earned his PhD in art, design, and media, specializing in processes of creativity and inspiration in art making. Dr. Dekel dedicates his work to helping people become conscious of the creative processes and tap into inspiration. He is an associate lecturer, a visionary artist, and Reiki master teacher. He co-wrote the Energy book, available on Amazon. He was awarded the Queen Elizabeth II Platinum Jubilee coin in recognition of his dedication and commitment to pastoral work in the UK. And he is zooming in today from the UK. So we're so glad to have you, Dr. Gill. And would you like to say a few words before you start your actual presentation?
Yes, colleagues, if you are scared of AI, you come to the right place. By the end of this presentation, you would not be scared of AI, and maybe you would even find some opportunities for yourself to work with that medium. Brilliant. So how can we preserve artistic integrity when we're creating AI images? I'm referring to images that artificial intelligence is creating for us. As an artist, I don't want a digital muse. I don't need digital muse. I have my muse, my direct connection to my artistic muse, and I need to feel integrity with the artwork that I'm creating. Because Claude Monet signed his work right here. When Claude Monet signed his work right here, he had full integrity. He created the work. He put canvas on brush and on acrylic or oil, right? It was very integral to him. As an artist, we cannot just create images within AI platform and then say it's ours. So I have found a way that satisfied my need to have integrity while creating AI images. I will share it with you today. I will also explain the process of how AI generates images, so a bit about the technicality behind it. and some opportunities that you may think could be good for you as well. I will also share some of my art processes, the other art form processes, and how I reached AI. So Claude Monet had no problem signing his artwork. It's integral to his work. But what about AI when we create in AI? The good thing to start saying is that when you request AI to produce an image for you, for example, you want AI to create a portrait. So you type in the AI platform, please create a portrait of so-and-so. AI, artificial intelligence, does not take from other people's work. So it will not go to Van Gogh and take his good ear and collage it and put it down here. It will not go to Picasso and take this eye and this nose and put it right here at the bottom. And it will not present it to you and tell you, here you go, this is the AI image that I have created for you. It does not do that. And that's a good thing. It does not plagiarize, it does not collage, and it does not take from other people's work. So that's great. What AI does is to create from scratch. Imagine you're holding a brush and you're painting with pixels instead of paint. That's what AI platforms are doing. Image generating AI platform are drawing from scratch using pixels, completely new, which is good. AI was trained on millions, and some say billions, of artworks that it took from online sources. So AI was trained on images that other people have created, but it is now creating new images. It doesn't plagiarize, it does not collage from other artwork, but it was trained on other people's artworks. And here there is a slight problem. At the moment, there is a lawsuit, and we all need to wait to see the result of that lawsuit, where some artists are suing AI platform for the process of training AI. So not for the fact that AI was trained, but how it was trained. As I said, AI was trained on millions, or some people say billions of images that it took from the internet. Most of the images are Creative Commons, and that's fine. You can take images which are Creative Commons and do what you want with those images. But some images, some artworks online were not Creative Commons. And what AI platform did is to replicate the image, make a copy, download it, and upload it to the AI system, and then do the training. That process of creating a copy of an original artwork may be problematic, and that is where some artists are now suing AI technology, because those artists may share their images online, but did not give permission for anyone to make a copy. This is the technicality of the process where the lawsuit now exists, and we have to wait and see the result of this lawsuit. So AI does not infringe on copyright in that it does not take elements, it draws from scratch. But you are artists just like myself, and you would know that if you're creating something, we do need to keep the integrity. I'm not happy with AI just creating art for me. I would not call it mine. So I have found a solution that I would share with you, which satisfies my need as an artist to have some integrity. And what I'm doing is I'm taking my work and my wife's real life work, and I'm feeding it into AI, and I tell AI, now create something based on my work. For example, which work do you think is the real life work and which one is the AI? Let's say, if you look on the left image here, is that real or is that the AI generated? If we have a chat, you can quickly just type that image on the left. What do you think? Is it real or is it AI? You can't tell, you just have to guess. Anyone have a guess? Someone says real, and you are correct. The one on the left is real. I don't know how did you know, Nancy? It was a good guess. This one on the left is real. Joyce is saying correct. Left is real. So this is the real work that my wife has created. That's an encaustic wax technique on card, which I scanned. I uploaded to AI, and I told AI, now learn the composition and create me something else. And the one on the right is the artificial intelligence. Now look very carefully. You can see clearly how the AI is based on the original art, which is what I wanted. If we look here on the left on the white area, 1, 2, you can see them clearly on the AI here, 1 white and second white area. In the original, you can look at the blue area, which is replicated here, the blue area. And all the other color, you can see clearly that the composition on the AI image is based on the original image that my wife has created. That makes me a bit more happy when I'm using and creating AI works. Now, when you are generating an image, you can then generate multiple or other variations. Here's another variation of that same work coming up now. Here you go. Again, you can see clearly the 2 white areas which are taken from the original here on the left. So AI allows you to generate multiple variation again and again from your original image. One of the biggest issue with AI is copyright. Who owns the copyright of the images? Many AI platforms are vague. It's not clear. They will tell you, yes, you can do anything you want with the image, you can use it, you can even sell it. But that does not mean you own the copyright. It means that you have a license to use the image. Now, if you want to commercialize your work, you need to own your copyrights on your images that you generate. So there is one company, I've read all of them, one AI platform that is clear, that is very clear about its copyright, and it tells you if you pay for license, which is not a lot, it's $5 a month, so I'm paying $5, then you get your private channel, which means nobody else can see your images, and you own the copyright. So that makes me really happy. This is one platform that is very clear. This thing keeps changing, but you have to keep reading the guidance when you signed up. So one company is very clear about you own it. You own your copyright. This is great if you pay. Another example on the left, real artwork by my wife, which I fed into AI and have created the image on the right. I will also explain the prompt, the text I will produce. But look at this stunning result here on the right. I mean, this is incredible, I would say. Now, it may seem that it's one click magic. One click, and I've got the result here on the right. That is not the case. For me, it takes between half an hour and 1 hour of working on the AI image until I'm happy with it. In other words, here on the image on the right, there is a lot of Photoshop work. You can't see, but there is a lot of Photoshop editing. AI makes a lot of mistakes, a lot of digital noise, and a lot of issue with anatomical figures. So, for example, the dove here, that is Photoshop. So I took it, I stitched it from a different version of that image. I brought it in right here, and I made a lot of alteration over this area right there. So it's half an hour of work, and in that half an hour, I may produce 10 variations of these images. And when people tell you in half an hour, you can do 10 images, you can. But as an artist, you will find that you need to put a lot of work until you have your final result that you are happy with. It's not one click. It doesn't happen in one click. On the left, a real photograph I took in London, and on the right, the transformation into AI. Look at the stunning result that AI produces. And you can see very clearly that the white area, the glow on the left, was replicated right here. Again, on the left, the heart, the middle, became this glowing heart here on the AI. The image might be slightly small for you to see. And the composition is direct copy of the original. You can see that the original photo is landscape and the AI is square. That's simply because I forgot to tell AI, please do landscape, and it defaults into square format. But that's not a problem. It works extremely well in this image. What you can see very clearly here, and that is the biggest benefit of artificial intelligence platform, is that AI can render light perfectly. Look very closely. AI knows that if there is a strong light source coming from here, it would know that you need to have a light glow under the chin and in the eye socket. So the rendering of light is as if AI understands 3D anatomy, real model anatomy, and it's not, it's only 2D. This light rendering did not appear in my original photograph. This is something that AI knows to do and can generate. And this is the biggest benefit of artificial intelligence, in my view, when you're generating images. In the past, as you know, if you take an old photograph of your grandfather and you wanted to take new photograph of yourself and collage them together in Photoshop, you'll have massive problem of rendering and colors and light. AI is solving that issue. It knows how to render light perfectly. Incredible. On the left, the real work by my talented wife. And on the right is the AI. So obviously, AI was trained on that image on the left and generated something new. You can see clearly the composition here, the central composition of the cave is taken from here. You can see clearly the yellow here on the right was taken from here, from the original yellow areas. So the composition and the colors are a copy of the original art, which is good. It's what I wanted. I wanted to put part of myself within the AI image. I then thought it would be interesting to take the result, so the AI image, to feed it back into AI. So I upload it back to AI and generate a new image based on AI's own image. So here is the third iteration. That is the result. Look carefully, and you can see still the same composition. So that is the central dark area. If I go up, the central area, the central area. So what I've created here is the original work. That will be the mother, that will be the child, the AI, and that will be the grandchild. 3 generations of work. Now, again, this is 1 hour of Photoshopping. There were a lot of problems here, and you can still see some issue with rendering of the light. So it's not 1 click, but it is fascinating how you can duplicate and replicate images again and again, which immediately brings to mind the magnificent Benjamin Walter and the work of Art in the Age of Mechanical Reproduction, which he wrote 100 years ago, around 100 years ago. He used the word mechanical. If we take out the word mechanical and say digital reproduction, then his article is still relevant. He was talking actually about losing authenticity by the fact of reproducing. Now, how does AI knows to create images? How was it trained? So AI was trained on a system which is called diffusion. Now, when we talk about artificial intelligence, we use words which are not accurate. We say artificial intelligence. It's not intelligent. I promise you, AI is not intelligent. It doesn't have a purpose. It doesn't have anything to say. It doesn't know why. It doesn't have any meaning or any statement. I'm referring to general AI these days, the technology, text to text, not necessarily text to image. AI is not intelligent. It doesn't have a purpose. It doesn't have life experience, and it does not have a soul. May I say so? It does not have a soul. You as an artist have all of that. That's why AI will never take your role, your position. But we don't have any other words. So we say AI was trained, AI learns, AI knows. These words are not correct. It was not trained. You cannot train. It doesn't have a brain. It does not know anything. But these are the words we're using at the moment. So I'm saying AI was trained on a method called diffusion, which is what you see right here in front of you. Scientists fed the platform with an image, for example, an apple on the left. It told the system to add digital noise and to learn the difference between the digital noise image and the original, and then add further more noise and learn the differences, and add more noise and more noise until the image was fully noised. Now, by this point, the AI platform knew the differences between each step. It so-called learned the visual differences. And then scientists reversed the process, starting off with a fully noised image, digital noise on the left, and then it told AI, now create the second step with less noise. Create this step right there. And then create the second step with less noise and less noise and less noise. until it reached something close to the original image. Now, it's not as smooth as I have described it. When they went in that process, the platform would create very different apples, not the same apple as I'm showing you here. But then scientists would tweak the parameters at the back end until the system was able to start and generating images which are close to the original, not exactly, but close to the original. And this process is called diffusion. And this is one of the methods by which AI platforms were trained to create images. It's fascinating. Adding noise is the way to train the platform. Now, in my work, I am leading many art and educational workshops, focusing in this case here on the Jewish holidays. The Jewish holidays, high holidays, are great because they have a lot of visual stories. Visual stories, they're very interesting. It's not just the philosophy, but it's also the action and the stories. And what I'm doing is to develop artworks, art activities that are based and relevant on the actual stories. So I don't tell the story and then ask the children, now please, let's go and just do coloring sheet, coloring paper. Let's do coloring. We don't do that. We develop in art activities that are specific and relevant to the story of the holidays. And children, as you know, they produce incredible things like this willow tree in front of you, created by my 11 years old. I mean, when I look at this simple art, I'm totally fixated by this. This gives you the exact feeling of when you stand under a willow tree. The distribution of color here is unbelievably good, the way she distributed the color. This is very simple. Simply, she drew lines on card, as you see at the back, the purple lines. And then I gave her those gems, stickers. These are just stickers that I gave her. She didn't create them, but she chose the right color and the right distributions of colors on that art. So everything here is glowing. Everything here is flashing, exactly as you would feel when you stand under a willow tree. So always encourage children when they are creating work. Always encourage them. I remember many years ago, I've been with some friends and their daughter, maybe 3, 4 years old, she took a pen, she created some scribbles, the artwork to her dad, said, Dad, look. And he looked at it and he couldn't see a figure, he couldn't comprehend, it was abstract. And he just dismissed it, you know. We can't see anything special, and just handed it back to her. Now, never do that. Don't do that. Always encourage children in their art, because the ability to hold the pen and to draw and to create a mark is our God-given right. You know, I'm always saying we are artists, thank God. Always encourage children. And I can promise you that whether you are now in the United States or in Britain or in Israel, every single child in the United States, Europe, Israel, every child will take a pen and will draw, or will take some tool and will make a mark. It's our God-given right. Always encourage children in their art. You know, I'm always saying that art will save the world, not politics. Art will save the world. I'm not against politics. Politics will define what you have to do. But how do you do it? How do you go about your life? That is art. That's how art inspires people into action. So art will save the world. Another simple collage that my 6-year-old did here on the left, which I said, oh, let's try children work into AI. Here you go, AI on the right, that is the result. Stunning, stunning transformation. You can see clearly that the 6 balloons are taken from the 6 original patches here on the right. I call it London at night. And of course, there was some Photoshop work here. This is not one-to-one. There is Photoshop work. On the left, the original work. And on the right, the transformation into AI. You can see clearly the composition was taken from the original. The dividing line between the 2 moon shapes here, that dividing line in the AI was originally this tree right here. Now, just 2 years ago, in 2022, scientists developed a method called conditioning. That method helps us to now use prompt. So thanks to that method called conditioning, now we can actually use prompt in AI platforms. So when I say prompt, I mean the text that you type. You say, please draw me a cat. The ability to do so was only developed 2 years ago in a process called conditioning. Also, there was a method for compressing images. 2 years ago, that method was developed, and they managed to compress image and train AI on compressed images. When you think that AI has been used millions of images, the ability to compress image really sped up the process. So the whole technology is fairly new. On the left, original artwork, and on the right is one of my rendition of Jerusalem. I've created a series of Jerusalem, images about Jerusalem, based on the artwork on the left. I love this texture here on the right, which to me looks like a foil, like a metal shiny texture, part of this abstract Jerusalem mountain. You can see clearly that it was taken from the original work here on the left. But look at the transformation, stunning. And here again on the right, this fabric, metallic fabric, I would call it, again, taken from the red area, the abstract red area on the right. Now, I will also explain about the prompt that I'm using in a minute. Again, original work on the left, and look clearly at the yellow color, which then forming the yellow pattern here, and the strong, I would call it sun, red sun, which is forming the floral arrow here on the right. So I'm feeding AI with our own work, but that's not enough for me. I'm also feeding AI with our own text. I'm using my own poetry and some transcript from our guided meditation. My wife and myself, we are leading guided meditation. We have many YouTube videos with guided meditation. You can watch them on YouTube. So I've taken some text from the guided meditation because it's very descriptive. It's very visual guided meditation. And some text from my poetry. And I fed AI with both our images and our text. And that makes me happy that I have contributed a lot to the result of the AI work. That's why I can sign my name and tell you, this was created by AI, but I have created it. Because I don't just type something. I train it on our work and our own poetry and text. So what is the text that I've been using? For this image specifically, I have used that text. And you can see here, I'm not going to read all of it, but generally speaking, a forest, bright gold sunlight, thick canopy, emerald leaf, a figure, cloth and look like a modern person, aura of cosmic energy, and so forth. This is the prompt I fed artificial intelligence platform together with that image, and I told AI, okay, now create something from my image and my text, and on the right, that is the result. And for me as an artist, I'm now happy. I would always say that this is an AI work, but I feel that it is mine. It's not just random. It was trained on our own work. Me and my wife are been creating a lot of spiritual work, so we have a lot of text that we can draw on. We also talk about it in our book, the Energy Book, which is available on Amazon. When I say energy book, I'm referring to chakra, spiritual energy. This is available on Amazon, and we are using my wife's real work for this book. Another image, another two versions of the previous image are this. So once again, look at the pattern here, this mythical light creature here on the top. And again, on that, you see the balloon, which clearly are taken from that sun or based on that sun on the original. So you have one version, second version, and a third version. And now we're going to have another 8-10 minutes presentation, and then we'll open the stage for your questions. We are, and I am, like any other artist, are highly inspired by nature. And some of my own photography is nature in zoom. So I'm using zoom lens to take a closer look at nature. Here is one example. Now, I'm always saying that I came to Britain because of the English Romantic poets. William Blake, the beautiful English landscape. I'm not expert on William Blake's poetry, but I have studied his life. How was he inspired by the English beauty? And so I'm creating a series of zoom in nature, close-up nature, to which I'm adding my poetry. So this is a poem. Life is a good reason to smile. That's one of my poems. A colleague of mine said, Gil, that's not a poem, that's aphorism. I think it is a poem. It takes a lifetime to grow and to evolve to be able to produce something as short as this, but poem doesn't have to be long. Another poem. We need not learn something new, but learn anew something old. So this is, again, example of my poetry and my photography. We are all babies in an old ancient soul. These are a few examples from another books we have published on Amazon, In God's Garden, also available on Amazon. I then went on to do a series of biblical stories, if you like. And this is, of course, Abraham, who went outside and was told by God to look up at the sky. And there was a lot of Photoshop work here, a lot of Photoshop work. Collaging a few versions, that's definitely 1 hour work. On the left, real work by my wife. On the right, you can say this is Moses split in the Red Sea. And clearly the composition you can see is a copy of the original. Original on the left, AI on the right. And another one, original on the left and AI on the right. Now, I'm the editor of the Journal of Creativity and Inspiration, where I published a lot of AI work. And by the way, the journal is looking for submission from artists. Maybe you could submit to the Journal of Creativity and Inspiration. But the question that I had as an editor, how to describe the images, the AI images, how to label them. We know how to label traditional work. For example, this work on the left, you put the title Bronze Flower and Caustic Wax on Card by Natalie Dekel, 2009. You can also say the measurement and where does it sit. So we know how to label traditional work. But what about AI? So that's what I'm doing at the moment. The full title, Adam and Eve, and then I say AI and biblical passage and poetry and meditation transcript and Photoshop, right? I'm describing everything I've used. I've used one passage from the Bible about Adam and Eve, some of my poetry, some of my transcript, and then Photoshop, and of course used this original image as well. So it's very long, but at the moment I'm laying the whole description. But I want to ask you in a second, perhaps as AI become more and more prominent and popular, maybe we could use the label mixed media. So mixed media, describing traditional and digital. AI is traditional and digital. So I would like to ask you, what do you think? In a second, we'll open the stage for your question. Do you think that mixed media is a good label to describe AI works, or maybe not? Now, in terms of the resolution of the images, this is 4,000 pixel by 4,000 pixel at 72 dpi. So it's very small, perfect for any screens these days. But when you want to print it, you may have a problem. So I tried to print that image, and the result on 40 centimeter by 40 centimeter was stunning. So this is a print on canvas that's 40 centimeters, a bit bigger than A3. And I'm smiling here because I am happy with the print result. So I think you can get away with printing A3 size. AI will print okay on A3 size, but probably not more than that, not bigger than that. Another project I did was to create art with nature. So using nature as the method, as the tool. And then I took photos of it. So here I'm showing you an example of my photography, as well as the actual art, and the stunning result, as you can see here. But then you think, I wonder how AI will treat this image. So I actually chose a different image here on the left. That's a photograph I took of some work, and 3 AI variations based on that photograph. You can see very clearly, not just that the green sky was taken from the green paint here, but look carefully at the shape. So this green sky is almost like a diamond shape. Maybe a bit small for you to see, but look here very clearly, diamond shape green. And again, diamond shape green. That's because the original was a squarish diamond shape green. So I'm sharing this because I think it will be fascinating to show this example to students, to give students these AI images, not the original, but the AI, and tell students, okay, can you now decode the original photograph? Now, I don't expect students to look at the pattern here in the middle and tell me, oh, Gil, this is definitely the pattern taken from this pine, from a pine cone. I don't expect students to be able to know that. But if you compare the three AI images, you can see all of them has the green diamond shape. So student could tell me, maybe there was some green diamond shape at the top. And look carefully at the yellow square right here, and again, appear right here, and again, right here. So a student could say, maybe there was some yellow square paint in the original photograph. So that could be a good, interesting exercise to do with students. My wife has been creating real collage and paint work, not just encaustic work. Here on the left, original one, and the transformation on the right is incredible. I have a few more slides, 2 more minutes, and then we will open the stage. Look at the transformation here. This is stunning. That work, the AI work, is based on the original work right here. Now, at that same time, I was inspired to create this story about Zaya. So this is Zaya, spelled with an X. She came to me in my imagination a few days ago, and she said, hello, have you seen my brother? And it happened in my imagination, and I ended up writing a short story about our search of her brother, which I hope to publish on Amazon very soon in a book with AI images and my short story. Now, AI is fun, it's great, and it's also very useful when you're presenting. So very soon, on 20th of March, I'm going to have a presentation about God, faith, atheism. It's really a short presentation about Kabbalah, which you're all welcome to join if you want in this link here, where I will be using only AI images that I have created to illustrate the concept of Kabbalah. So it does save you time. It is helpful. AI is helpful. Now we're talking about being afraid of AI, being afraid of this technology. It's going to take our jobs. And I actually think that AI opens new opportunities. Yes, as artists, we will need to adapt. But let me remind you that when Photoshop first came 30, 35 years ago, people said, anybody can use Photoshop now. We will not need artists. We're definitely not going to need graphic designer. Anybody can design. That did not happen. We still have designer today for good reason. When Microsoft issued and created a CD-ROM that had a full encyclopedia, it was called Encarta Encyclopedia, full encyclopedia in one CD-ROM, people say, students are not going to join the university anymore. We don't need the university. Everything is in one CD-ROM. This did not happen. You still have university and you have students because there's much more than that. And the same thing with AI. Yes, we do need to adapt, but it also opens opportunity specifically for writers. If you are a writer, you will have a lot of opportunity because AI is based on writing. I upload my images, but most people don't, they just write. So we will need skilled people to help us progress with how we write to AI. And I think there's great opportunities there for writers. Well, colleagues, thank you very much.
That was so beautiful, just looking at those images and the connection to your poetry and your wife's paintings and the aspect of meditation. It was so inspiring. And I know that we're going to have a lot of really good questions for you.
I can see them, so I can read them very quickly. I see Lucy, I think, was asking about what's the point of making AI? What is it going to make to you, to me as an artist or to society? So you're absolutely correct that AI almost takes away the ability to be human. You're absolutely correct. And that's why I shared the article by Walter Benjamin about the mechanical reproduction from 1935. He was talking exactly about what you say. Personally, I agree with you. Art is also the actual making. The making is important to the art. Everything else is duplication. But in our reality, in our life, you need images. And as a graphic designer, not as an artist, but as a graphic designer, it helps me because I can create a lot of images. Usually I have to chase my wife to draw. She's the artist. In fact, she should give you a talk. My wife should really give you a talk. She's the artist. I tell her, Natalie, can you make me this image and that and that and that? Whereas now I can create it by myself. But you are correct. It perhaps devoid of the spirituality. Do you use Adobe Express and Firefly? No, I don't use Firefly. Firefly is Adobe's own AI platform. I don't use it because you don't own the copyright for it at the moment. Firefly is using Adobe's own stock images. And it will be good in the future because I think they will pay their artists for the use, but at the moment you don't own the copyright for Firefly. I use Adobe Photoshop, which is it's the better version of Adobe Express. About Amazon publishing, what do you have to do to publish in UK and HMRC? Publishing books on Amazon is not complex, it is straightforward. You just need to use their template. You will spend a lot of time to format your content into their Word document template, but anyone can do it. I've done it. And then you just upload it. You don't make a lot of money. I think if you sell for 14 pounds, 14 British pound, you may get £1. But it saves you the whole process. HMRC, you mean if you have a business, then you would pay to the British tax. Not a problem. You have to declare on this yourself. Love the use of your visualization with my wife original art and the different. Thank you, Ali. Diana, what software did you describe? Okay, so what software I'm using? I didn't want to publicize it because it is not the best AI platform. It is called Blue Willow. Blue Willow. That's the platform I'm using, and I'm paying £5 each month. Sorry, $5 each month. I said it's not the best. It's not bad, but I think that DALL-E is the alternative. It creates better images, more anatomically correct, so more correct to your description. But I think DALL-E costs far more, and you don't own the copyrights on DALL-E. I can see a few more questions. AI images, do they inspire your wife to create new work based on them? No. No, my wife is inspired directly from God. And God, or if you like, the muse of artists, as I like to call it, the muse of artists, tell my wife what to do. So my wife is actually channeling. So she can hear the muse of art telling her, now a bit more red, now a bit more yellow over here and over there. She really should give you the talk. But she is very appreciative of the AI work that I am creating, and she sees them as artistic creation. So they are inspiring to her as a viewer of art. Yeah, she will be inspired with that respect. Now, does AI try to be human? No, it doesn't. If you type to AI, to ChatGPT, if you type to ChatGPT, you are a student in philosophy. Now write this article. It will tell you, there's a confusion. I'm not a student. I'm an AI platform. So the AI companies are very careful to make sure we don't make that confusion. Although I promise you there's going to be a massive problem because it speaks to you like a human being. Many people would end up getting too attached to ChatGPT, that's text-to-text platform, and think that it is actually intelligent, it's actually human. You know, this is the old age conversation between artists, if you like, and mathematicians, scientists, I don't know what to call them, but the people who think that AI can actually learn because it understands image and it understands text. So I told my colleague, it does not understand a thing. It only understands math, numbers. In fact, it doesn't even understand language. It sees it as numbers. The way it knows language is by decoding words into numbers. And then the statistical relation between the word is translated to relation between numbers. That's how it knows how to produce text. But this is a different discussion. This is about ChatGPT and text-to-text AI, whereas today we're talking about text-to-image AI. So do you need copyright with description, including AI? So Ali, if you're asking whether you own copyrights and how copyrights relates to description, the answer is no. If you create something and you own the copyrights, you own it. And the default is always someone is owning the copyrights, unless you state this is Creative Commons or you release the copyright. So this has nothing to do with AI. It's a general question about copyright. You own the copyright on your work and you can release them. You don't even have to say AI, but you should say AI. I mean, I would never say it, I created it. I would say AI created that based on my art and so forth. And Bonnie asked, can AI dream? I say that people dream. People dream that AI can dream, and it's such a great tool. No, AI cannot dream. Tell you something. I'm not worried about the increase of artificial intelligence. I'm worried about the decrease of human intelligence. That was a joke. Okay, so what is the texture of your AI images printed on canvas? It's actually just ink. When I print on canvas, I send it off and it is just ink printed on simple canvas. I don't use textures, actually. My observation that AI produce are more like superb illustration as opposed to fine art quality of the original. You are correct, and AI is more, as you say, superb illustration, and I will tell you why, because AI is not intelligent and it's not an artist, it's mathematics. Math is very specific, and that's why AI, Edgar, you're right, is so specific in their line. Yeah, absolutely. You can see another one from Nancy. How do you see the future going with AI-generated artwork? Will people collect AI? Definitely. Will AI be in museum? Definitely. Definitely yes. Yeah, you're absolutely right. AI has a lot of hype at the moment. It's very popular. This popularity will dwindle as people will realize that it does take time and it's not as easy and it's not as perfect. But at the moment, it is at its peak. And very soon you will definitely will see AI work in museum. In fact, if I'm correct, I think there was already a big AI generated work in the museum. If it adds something to the spirit of art, I think it's fine. We're using Photoshop these days. In fact, let's talk about photography. I think Joyce is teaching about photography, the start use of images. What did we say 150 years ago when the camera became popular? We said, oh, it's going to take the job from artists. It hasn't. It has become an art form in itself. And photography now is accepted form of art, right? Where you just click, you don't paint, and it's still very good. I've copyrighted my own art, hundreds of abstract painting, but when I create a art for my art and want to copyright it, you're saying it's mine, so I don't have to mention. Okay, so again, Ali, I'm not sure I read fully your question, but your own artwork is already copyrighted. When you make something, it's yours, obviously. When I generate images, when I personally generate AI based on my AI work, original work, it makes no difference for the copyright because I don't have to use my own work. The only reason I own the images copyright is because I'm using Blue Willow, and Blue Willow states clearly that when you pay subscription, you then get what they call private channel, which means nobody else can see your work. If you don't pay, you have many people seeing everyone else's work, and people can grab your work and reuse it. If you do pay, you get private channel, nobody else can see it, and they state clearly, and you own your copyright. So even if I don't use my work, if I just type draw me a cat, I own the copyright for that image, and I can sell and do whatever I want with it. So it doesn't matter if I'm using my work or not, it's only matter with the license that the platform is giving you. and Blue Willow is making it clear that you own the copyright. DALL-E is not clear. DALL-E is alternative, it's better than Blue Willow, but they say you can use the image, you can sell it, but it doesn't mean you own the copyright. It means they're giving you a license to use it. They could give the license to someone else as well. So Ali say, thank you, real eye-opener, great talk, to hear the session from your wife, okay, yes. And someone speaking Hebrew, Lehitraot means thank you in Hebrew.
Aw.
Thank you, Joyce.
Dr. Gill, thank you so much. And I'm curious, what would you say to a novice? What would be a simple next step for somebody if they want to learn more? Can you break it down for us? Like, do this.
If you're interested in going into or just experience with AI, it's very easy. There are many platforms that you could use, and I think most of them are free. So just to play around, you can go to a platform called DALL-E, after DALL-E, with an extra E, I think, at the end, in honor of DALL-E. And you just play around. You just start to type, draw me a cat, portrait, and so forth, and see what you can come out with. And I promise you, your result at the end will be better than someone who is not an artist, because they don't understand composition, color, and the soul of art. So everybody can drive a car, to move a wheel, everybody can do it. But to understand the rules of the road and to read the signs, that's what artists have. So you should not be afraid of artificial intelligence. I would encourage you to know and to understand what it is, because then at least you would not be afraid of that. And
Okay.
it can definitely...
I'm going to give it a try myself. So I have a lot of my regular Zoom students on here. So I'm giving everybody a homework assignment, a follow-up, which is to play with it. Go and find a way of just doing even just a few minutes, creating some kind of image with AI, and then see how you feel about it, right? And let's, just like you opened up my mind, Dr. Gill, not being afraid of something, especially before you even try it yourself, right? And to appreciate new technologies, and to have faith in human beings, that we are intelligent and we can use discernment between what's really great art and what's not great art. It's not really the tool, it's the artist behind the tool, really. That's what I believe. So, and your art was so beautiful, and your wife's art also amazing. And where can people find out about your journal of creativity? Can you tell everybody about that?
Yes, we are looking for submission from artists as well. And while the link is opening, I will paste it in the chat box in a second. I would just suggest, Joyce, could be an interesting project with your student, is to give all of them the same prompt, draw me a cat in a Picasso style or whatever, and see and let them all come back to the class with their result. And it'd be interesting that the same prompt will then generate different results, because everyone will have different art created. There's no method with AI. Nobody knows exactly how and why it chooses to create that composition. So it'd be interesting to see the variation. And here in the chat box is the journal link, Journal of Creativity and Inspiration, which is looking for submission about creativity and inspirations from artists. Perhaps you would like to submit. Yeah, thank you very much. Just the last thing, Rosemary, AI does not put watermarks into the images unless you're using Firefly or maybe the free version, which will put a watermark. But in future, I think they will force everyone to put watermark into AI that says this was created with AI. What I didn't say is that AI can generate realistic images that looks like real photographs. You find a lot of photos of celebrities on Facebook. I can see immediately it's fake, but people don't know. They think it's a real photo, hyper-realistic photo. So to tackle that, they meant to put watermark that says this is AI in future. We're still waiting for the government to come up with all these regulations. Thank you very much.
Let's give Dr. Gill, as I call him, Dr. Gill, a big Zoom round of applause, everybody. And really super thank you from our worldwide audience. We have people from Argentina, from Canada, from New York, from from Virginia, all over the world. And we really appreciate your time with this, Dr. Gill. And it's so nice, you know, just our ongoing dialogue about art in general. So have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, wherever you are. And thank you. Be creative, everybody.
Thank you. Be creative.
Mhm.
Goodbye.